Okay guys, got a roulette battle here against Anima14 from YouTube, and yep, check out his channel. I'll put his link in the description, you can have a look at that. So, here we go. I get Venusaur lead off, and he gets Crobat. I predicted Taunt, and so I go for a Sludge Bomb, but he actually U-turns out, which isn't too bad for me, and he actually goes into a Celebi, so that worked out awesome for me. I get a Sludge Bomb on Celebi, and it does like over half, so that was pretty amazing. I decide here to go for Sleep Powder, just to, render the Celebi useless while it stays in. I know it can switch out and get Natural Cure, but it would just be nice to get some sleep on it. So, I'm not sure what I was doing here. I was probably talking something, well, I don't know. Yeah, eventually I decided to go with the Sleep Powder, and he T-Waves me, but Sleep Powder misses, which isn't really good. And now I'm going to decide to go for, I think, another Sleep Powder. I could have predicted his switch and used another attack, but I think I just went for a Sleep Powder just to be safe. He goes to Rhyperior, which takes the sleep nicely, and yeah, that's going to be snoozing for a while. So, I decide to switch, I think. Or no, I don't. I decide to go for a Grass Knot, or a Sludge Bomb. I predicted the switch and went for a Sludge Bomb. And it still doesn't do much to his Crobat, so, that's fine. I stay in here because I didn't really think he could do much to me, but I just completely forgot that he might have Brave Bird, and he actually did have it, so that completely annihilated me, and that wasn't a good play by me at all. So I bring in Metagross, and I've really been liking Metagross lately. This Metagross is pretty damn nice in this match. So I go for the Mash, and it does a nice amount to Celebi. I'm sort of predicting a T-Wave, and I don't want to get paralyzed, so I go to Hippowdon to take it. But he actually recovers, so that's fine for me. I know he's going to probably attack me, maybe with Grass Knot or something, but I just wanted to stay in just for the sake of getting my Stealth Rock up, because it's going to be really helpful if I get those up. Energy Ball does a pretty good amount to me, and I get my Stealth Rock set up, so that's good. And yeah, that's going to help me for the rest of the match, provided he doesn't have a Spinner, which I don't think he did. So now I decide to switch. I go out to Bronzong, and he uses Energy Ball on me, and that doesn't do much. He gets Special Defense drop, really not of much consequence, because Bronzong would just take Energy Balls all day. So he goes for a Leech Seed on me, and I Trick Room. So now, Bronzong's faster than Celebi, and I can explode if I wanted to, but judging by things, I would say this is more defensive Celebi, and he would probably live anyway. So there's not much point in me sacrificing just yet, and so I'm probably best to just go and get up my Leech, my Light Screen, and that'll help me maybe. So Light Screen gets set up, and he brings out Rhyperior again. It's fast asleep, and I know it has to sleep for at least one turn because it hasn't been fast asleep yet. So I know I'm safe to switch. So I switch to Metagross, and he's fast asleep, and because of Trick Room, I'm not sure if I'm faster or not, but I just decide to stay in and go for the Mash. And he brings in Celebi, and that does quite a nice amount to Celebi. So I know I'm faster than him now thanks to Trick Room, so I just decide to stay in and go for another Meteor Mash. And this nearly takes him out. It leaves him in red, but I get the attack raise, and that was pretty nice for me. So that was pretty good, and yeah, things are looking good. And now the Twisted Dimension returned to normal, so I've got no more Trick Room left, so he's going to outspeed me. And predicting he's going to Thunder Wave. So he T-Waves Metagross, I go for the Mash with the attack raise, and it still doesn't take it out. It's just so close. But Celebi just hangs on, even after Sandstorm. And I know he's going to Leech Seed or Recover or something, but I get fully paralyzed, and that was pretty big, because otherwise I would have been able to finish off his Celebi, and, he wouldn't have been able to recover. So that was pretty good by him, because I got paralyzed and I get paralyzed again, and now there's really not much chance of me taking the Celebi out. I mean, if I get another attack raise or something, it might help, but it's not a big chance. So yeah, this is getting to be a pretty long match, probably one of the longest roulettes I've ever had, to be honest, and it was pretty good. So I just stay in, go for another Meteor Mash, or not. I stay in and I rest, because I want to get rid of that Parahax, and I don't know, I've still got my attack boost, and I can use Sleep Talk and maybe get a hit on something. So I stay in and I go for the Sleep Talk, and he brings out Machamp. And if this sleep talk had given me something like Meteor Mash, the game would have been a lot closer than it actually was, because that would have done some damage to Machamp and it would have been nice for me. But as it happens, it doesn't, and not seeing lefties on this Machamp kind of makes me think that it's choiced in some way. So I go to Hippowdon and it takes me out with a close combat, so I'm kind of thinking this thing is banded. Now I'm pretty sure it is banded, so I decide to go to Bronzong because I know he can probably take a hit. And I don't want to just explode just yet in case he switches to Rhyperior, which he does. So I just go for another Trick Room. So, you know, things are looking alright at the moment, but I'm kind of struggling to take out any of his guys, which isn't great. I set up my light screen, which is really pointless, and I don't want to switch in case he wakes up and crucially, like, does some damage to one of my guys. And I really should have switched to Metagross here, but I just decided to stay in and randomly keep light screening away while he is fast asleep still. And that just wasn't really good, because I was just wasting his turns of sleep, and he eventually got to wake up and set up Stealth Rock, which isn't what I thought he would do, which was really, really annoying. So that was really bad for me. So I decided to go for a Hypnosis. He Earthquakes just to see if I was heat proof or not, but I'm actually Levitate, so that's fine. And Hypnosis hits him, so he's fast asleep again. And now I'm safe to switch, so I decide to switch here. And he goes to Celebi, and I go straight back to I go out to my Hitmonlee, because I was thinking that close combat would do a nice amount to his Rhyperior, but he goes to Celebi, so that's fine for me. I know he can't Thunder Wave me, simply because I have Limber, but he goes for an Energy Ball, and it gets a crit, which was really, really gay. That was stupidly annoying, because if it hadn't been for that crit, I could have used Hitmonlee later. He would have probably been able to take out Machamp and the rest of his guys maybe, but I'm not sure, to be honest. So it perhaps wasn't that big a deal. But that crit was, it wasn't great. So Celebi gets taken out by a Blaze Kick, and he brings in Crobat. I know I can't switch because of the Stealth Rock, so I just stay in and go for another Blaze Kick, maybe get a burn. I don't know, but he roosts up, and it was really not much consequence, because he basically ended up at the same health he was on to start with. So I decide to go out, and I go to left leg in, and I'm going to go for a Sleep Talk here, but he taunts me, so I can't Sleep Talk, so that was gay. Now, what I predicted here was him to roost, so I predicted him to roost, I would wake up, I would Earthquake, and that would take him out. But he in fact goes for a Brave Bird instead of roosting, and I wake up and I look stupid as I Earthquake him. But it's fine, because I'm just going to go for a Mash here, and then the Mash is going to take him out. So Metagross will have done its job, so that's pretty good. So Meteor Mash hits, and Crobat goes down. And I get the attack raise as well, which is pretty nice. I'm not sure if it was, that much of a big deal or not, but it was okay. Now here I made a huge mistake. I decided to switch out Metagross. Even though I pretty much knew he was banded, I was still fearing he was scarfed and could take me out with the close combat. But as I found out later, Metagross was actually faster than Machamp, and if I'd stayed in there, the game probably would have gone a lot differently to the way it did. So that was a huge misplay, and staying in with Metagross would have been a lot more helpful. But I switched to Bronzong, used it as death fodder, which was pretty stupid. And now I go back to Metagross, pretty sure after how much damage it did to Bronzong, it was definitely banded. But now it was too late, and he was going to withdraw, going to go to this Jolteon. I predicted a switch of some sort, but I actually didn't predict a switch. I actually went for the Earthquake because I was afraid Meteor Mash would miss. And I knew that Earthquake would take him out because he had 2 defense drops. So that was kind of lucky by me, but sort of pseudo predicting a switch as well. I stay in and go for a Mash, which was not very a clever idea. I should have switched out to Cradley as death fodder, got the defense drop, and then come back in to mash him. But it was not of much consequence in the end, because Machamp was going to take out Cradley anyway. So he takes out Cradley, and that's good game. Anima14, comment, rate, subscribe, and that's me out. So see you guys later. Yeah.